Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. This time around, it is Postman Pat and the Greendale Rocket for the Game Boy Advance. This is a Europe-only game, given that the languages you can pick are English, Norwegian, and Dutch. And thankfully, you too can play at home with your GBA because the GBA is region-free. There is no region lock on it. Anyway, this is obviously a kid's game because this is based on the children's show Postman Pat. We can start the story mode, we can put in a password to start later in the story, or we can go to the options, where we can reselect the language if we need to. We can turn the music on and off, and we can also see the credits if we want to. But I'm going to go ahead and go straight to the story here. The old Greendale train station is in a bad state. And the Greendale rocket does not seem to be working. The inhabitants of Greendale decide to repair the station and its train. And Pat is ready to help everyone. And we start the game. Level 1A. Find Miss Goggins. Or Mrs. Goggins. And look at all these things that we're collecting. Stamps, letters, parcels. If you collect all of these things in the level, the game rewards you with nothing. But it's still fun to find everything anyway. Controls are pretty simple for this game. Left and right lets you move left and right. Up and down lets you look up and down respectively. And A lets you jump. B lets you do nothing. R and L also do nothing. And it's pretty simple for the most part. Also, that brown and yellow mailbox with the flag that comes up when we pass it, that is a continue point. If some sad fate were to befall us, like say falling into the water in that pool to the left of us, will we return to that checkpoint instead of all the way to the beginning of the stage? And of course, there are platforms that move up and down every so often. Don't remember those ever being in the television show, which I have never watched, but I can easily assume that show did not have moving platforms like that. But this is video game logic, so I can just go ahead and let it slide. And here is Jess, Postman Pat's cat. Go walk up to her and you'll switch to her, and the game tells you to climb up this little drain pipe. Use up on the control pad to climb up the drain pipe, and once you make it all the way up, you'll be at the top of the house. Get Jess onto this platform and she'll lower it, and control will be patched back to Postman Pat. And you will be able to cross that pool safely. Otherwise, you would have been taken back to that last continue point. Might as well go ahead and jump on these windowsills to not only find some stuff, but also hit a switch. This will extend this bridge that will let us cross this pool safely, because we're not going to be able to jump all that well. Postman Pat is a mailman, not an athlete. And after collecting the last of the mail, we have succeeded at finding Mrs. Goggins and finding all the collectibles. From here we can press A to continue on. Password, Jess, Postman Pat, pink flower, pink flower. There's only one difficulty level, so the passwords are all the same. And now it's time to sort the objects to find the 6 parcels in level 1B. If you get a can, press right, then press A. If you get a fruit or a vegetable like a carrot or an apple, press left and then press A. And if you get a parcel, press down and then press A. You have to press the control pad in the direction of the bag that you want to place the object in. And as you place stuff in the right bags, you'll be able to find the parcels. I'm assuming that the cans are trash, or as the UK calls them, rubbish. But we have found all 6 parcels, we managed to put them in the bag, and we have completed the level. So now it's time for level 1C. There are 5 levels in the game, each with 3 sections, A, B, and C. When you complete a section, you get a password that lets you go to the next one, in case you decide to turn the power off and you want to start back to where you are. Present, Postman Pat, present is the password for level 1C, where we have to find AJ. I've scrolled through that a little bit too fast, but, well, at least I know what I'm doing in this game. Section C is always the driving section, and you have to hold A the entire time and try not to run into anything. You'll be slowed down a little bit if you run into anything like traffic cones or water, kind of like that, or if you like move towards a wall and you can't move any further in that direction. But as long as you don't make too many mistakes, you'll have just enough time to make it to the goal. We finally found AJ Baines, and we get the conductor's hat as our first mystery item. You get a mystery item every time you complete an entire level. As noted, there are 5 levels in all, and red mailbag, parcel, Postman Pat, parcel is the password for the next section, which is level 2A, find Charlie Pringle. And here's where you're going to have to start looking high and low for collectibles such as the stamps, the letters, and the parcels. Because if you don't, you're going to be missing out on stuff. Pretty obvious. So you definitely want to look both in the trees, assuming you can stand on the branches, as well as ground level. And of course we have even more moving platforms in the forms of moving branches that go up and down. These lily paths move back and forth. Not the hardest stuff in the world, considering that this is a children's game, but definitely enough to keep Postman Pat on his toes. And of course we have another tree that we can climb for some more stuff. And thankfully Postman Pat does not take any fall damage. That jump right there, where I got those 3 stamps and the parcel, you cannot go back past that point, I believe. So you better be ready to jump properly and get everything that you need to get. Thankfully, the game does not penalize you if you don't find all the collectibles. And we hit a continue point and we get to meet Jess again. For this Jess segment, you want to go to the right and climb up this power pole. And from here, you could go to the right, but you don't want to do that just yet because you want to jump to the house on the left instead, so you can get 2 easy to miss letters and an easy to miss parcel. From here, you can then jump onto the power lines, which Jess is somehow able to cross safely, and you'll have to jump your way to the end, and then get on this platform and then hit the blue switch on the floor. This will allow you to cause that branch to go down, and Postman Pat can be on his merry way. When you're playing as Jess, you won't be able to go very, very far. The game limits where you can go, and you have to do what you need to do within that restricted area. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to figure out. And now we got a little bit more platforming, but it's just a lily pad that moves left and right. Nothing to it. And by leaping into the trees, you'll be able to figure out which ones you can leap onto the branches of. Some of them will be in the background, some will be in the foreground, but if they're like this nice color of brown like the one that I'm standing on, you know you can pretty much leap onto the branches and get everything that's there. Even though Postman Pat is not an athlete, at least he doesn't break his ankles after a long fall. Which is a good thing because this is a children's game. And we've hit another continue point. And we're getting pretty close to the end of the stage here. But we do need to climb this tree and go a little bit to the left, so we can go all the way to this house and not only pick up everything that we see, but also to hit this switch. This switch will activate this platform right here, which will allow us to cross this pool, which we would not be able to get to the other side of otherwise. So now we're going to have the backtrack. And I actually take the high road while doing this. This is where pressing and holding down on the control pad to look down really works in your favor. If there's a branch, you want to leap onto it before you leap on the solid ground. Thankfully, the level design of these stages aren't really that bad. And we have just a few more stamps to collect before we finally run into Mr. Pringle. Into Mr. Charlie Pringle. I finally remembered his name. And we have collected everything. Password is Jess, Parcel, Pink Flower, and Jess. Level 2B, we have to make the kite fly. To start this off, we have to keep pressing A as far as we can, as much as we can. And then from here, we have to tap the A button to keep it afloat as we get the kite to run into these letters. It's like a tap, 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 tap thing that you have to do. You can't just press the button like a maniac. It's just tap, 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 and you can do it like that. And it shouldn't take you too much trouble to get the 10 letters you need to complete level 2B. Password is Jess, Postman Pat, Jess. Level 2C, well, the kite got stuck in a tree and now we have to catch it. So here we are in the Royal Mail lorry once again. Lorry being a truck for those of you who are not in the UK. And, well, it's just more of the same, really. It's a little easier due to the country road here being a little more narrow than what we saw in level 1C. Still gotta be careful of the cones though, but I think we should be able to do alright here. The trick is knowing where your lorry can go. Sometimes you can go a little more up than you thought you could, and sometimes you can go a little more down than you thought you could. With a little bit of practice, you'll be able to figure it out. And we made it to the kite, and we are able to get it back. And for completing all of level 2, we get this lump of coal for the Greendale rocket, our second mystery item of the game. And the password for the next area is mailbag, present, Jess, parcel. And that is it for the first 2 levels of the game. Join me next time where I take on levels 3 and 4. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!